Hey, this is your boy Kenny Braswell with 5 Flow, 5 minutes of motivation, 5 minutes of motivation, and not much more. Hey, I got a great 5 Flow for you today. Today we're going to talk about 5 things that make your blessings vulnerable to attack. And so oftentimes when we have blessings, sometimes we struggle with those blessings because they come under attack from people. But I'm gonna give you 5 things today that's gonna give you an indicator on why that may be the case for you. Number 1, you question yourself. And so whenever you have a blessing and you really don't believe in the blessing and you keep questioning the blessing, you don't give the blessing time to mature. And time to move forward because you keep doubting what it is. You keep doubting, and maybe it is you don't understand when you have a blessing, which is a whole nother 5 Flow. But I think one of the things that make our blessings vulnerable to attack is when we don't believe in them, all right? And so you have to believe in you. You have to believe in your blessings. You have to believe in the word that you hear. You have to believe in your passion, your purpose, and your position. You have to believe. I think the key word right here, number 1, is you have to believe in yourself. Number 2, telling too much too soon. Sometimes our blessings don't have the time to mature because we want to get on Facebook and we want to start talking about something as soon as we have an idea. God gives you a blessing, a talent, or a gift, and the first thing you want to do is get on Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat, and you want to tell the world about your blessing, and not knowing that you can't put your stuff out there to the world because there's some people out there who do not have the ability to understand blessings and will look at that as an opportunity. And when I think that when you get a blessing, it is an opportunity to prosperity, and people kind of understand that. And so, but when you get an idea and it's your blessing, don't just start throwing your blessing, out there in the social media space, because somebody is watching you, and if they see it with any amount of success, someone is going to try to duplicate it. All forms of I forgot how the term goes. The sincerest form of imitation is the sincerest form of flattery. I don't think that. Sometimes it's just straight up stealing. And so be careful about your blessing that you put out there, because there are people that will try to take it from you. Number 3, talking to the wrong people. Again, it relates to the last one, but sometimes you're just talking to the wrong people. You're telling the wrong people about your blessing because everybody don't want to see you succeed. Some people want to see you fail, and they're going to put negative words in your ear. They're going to put negative feelings in your spirit. And so you have to be real careful about those folks that are in your corner to see you succeed and to see you be the best that you can be. And so you got to be real careful about your blessings, because oftentimes your blessings come under attack by the people who are closest to you. Yeah. Number 4, when it's not your blessing, right? Sometimes, we're trying to figure out how come this thing ain't working and how come this blessing ain't moving forward, because you stole it yourself. It ain't your idea. You saw it somewhere and you thought it was a good idea, and all of a sudden you wanted to duplicate it and make it your own, when all you got was one task in the midst of the blessing. You don't even know what the entire blessing is. That's why I'm so close guarded with respect to when God gives me something to move forward. By the time you know about something that I'm doing, I've been laboring over it for 6, 7, 8, sometimes a year, sometimes even a couple of years before I give it space in the atmosphere, because I know, that you just got to be careful about, how you put your blessings out there, because some people will try, to take those blessings from you. And so, but when it's not your blessing, when you take something from someone else that you don't really understand that that's a blessing of that person, that means nothing but death to you. Not in the physical sense, but death to the idea, death to your movement forward, death to anything that you try to do good around that idea. When it's not yours, trust me, ultimately it will not work. And number 5, when the time has passed, right? And sometimes we get a blessing and we just sit on it, and we did what I talked about in number 1. We question it, we don't believe in it, and we hold on to it, and we labor onto it, and we try to do some other things, and we try to flip this and move that and curl around this and do all kinds of things. And the next thing you know, the blessing is past. Man, God has given you something and said, listen, I need for you to move right now. This is why I'm giving it to you, because you have all the things in your possession to make this thing happen. And when your faith is not all in the blessings that you're receiving, sometimes you can take too much time to implement those blessings. And blessings end. I always talk about the scripture when it comes to Moses and the people leaving Egypt, going to Israel and going through the Red Sea. That when they were going through the Red Sea, I believe that when the last leg of the last lamb lifted, the sea closed up. And the problem with that is that the Pharaoh was coming after Moses' people, or God's people, and Moses, because they did not want to see them reach the promised land. But the Red Sea parting was the blessing of the people of Israel. And when the last leg of the last lamb lifted, the sea closed and everything that was in the sea died. What that basically means is that the blessing ended. And so you have to be real careful about when you're stepping in and you're following and you're picking up and you're trying to trail somebody's blessing, because you never know when that blessing is over and that blessing can close up right on you. This is Kenny Braswell with 5 Flow, 5 minutes of motivation and not much more. I hope that blessed you. Listen, check us out on our sister sites, blaze1radio.com, Fly TV Today, and across all the social media platforms. You know how I like to leave you. Always be kind to others as you're kind to yourself, or you might find yourself by yourself. Always shoot high for your goals, because even if you miss, you'll be amongst the stars. And I tell you this all the time. My good friend Art Mitchell, who passed away some years ago, used to always tell me it's nice to be important, but you know what? It's much more important to be nice. I'm your boy Kenny Braswell. Take care, God bless, and I'll see you next week. Peace out.